ECHL champions are all Americans. The Kelly Cup Playoffs MVP talks about the experience. And a couple of NHL teams choose new ECHL partners. It's time to wrap up the season and the greatest league playoff year ever. ECHL Week starts now. Hi, and welcome to our expanded final ECHL Week show of 2014-15. A year ago, the Allen Americans capped off the season by winning their second consecutive Central Hockey League crown. After joining the ECHL in early fall, the team completed the assimilation into its new league by defeating Tulsa, Rapid City, and Ontario in the playoffs on its way to the Kelly Cup Finals. And then, after an entertaining series against South Carolina, which featured ups and downs on both sides, the Americans hosted just the fourth Game 7 in ECHL Finals history. The sellout crowd of over 6,100 fans got what they were looking for. Let's watch the highlights of the final game this season with Tommy Daniels and Maurice Fitzgerald describing the action on Hot 107.3 FM.
The face-off, but they score! Costello! And Allen has taken a 1-0 lead with 9:29 left to go here in the opening period. The Americans are 9-1 in the postseason when they scored that first goal.
Yeah, and South Carolina, I believe, is 9-6. So that first goal is pretty huge, but Game 7s do change things around.
Crane in, they score on the rebound! It's poked in the open net. It's 2-0 Allen. Now Hansen swung it back through the middle. Maffei able to get it through. Now a pass, tipped near side by Maffei, former teammate Vincent Arsenault with Denver, as they work it back up towards center. Puck coming all the way down the ice. And in behind the net, Ford. Near side pass coming to Maffei. Maffei working it up near wing. All the way up to center. Maffei over to the right side, tipped away. Break coming. Costello in. Costello, he scored! Chad Costello on a breakaway beats Jeff Drakitis. Brought back to center, Koshovsky. Knocked away at center by Crane. Here comes Crane, back across the line. Drop back for Steffes. In. Shot right on, save made, rebound, score! It's 4-0. Gary Steffes holds home the rebound, and the Americans have a 4-0 lead. A 3-second difference between the penalty time on the clock and the game clock. Here come the Americans to center again, over to the left side. Arsenault down in the corner. In the corner, battling for it. Look out, Crane whacking at it. Loose puck in front. Rebound in front. They score! Steffes! His second of the game. It's 5-0 Allen. And this team will just not quit. Bouncing puck picked up in the face-off circle by Schaafma. Dumps it back in behind the net. As we're down to 11:20 left to go here in regulation. Knocked back into the zone. Simonelli got it across to the left side. Fired up through the middle. Bouncing puck stolen away. Here's Costello trying to feed it in front. They score! On the doorstep. Arsenault knocks it home. The third point of the game for Chad Costello. And one of those teams that were at it in late September is now 3 minutes and 28 seconds away from winning their first ECHL championship and their third straight in AA hockey. Backhander right on again by Rowe. He was robbed earlier. Now we've got Ludwig and Perrier going to duke it out behind the net. A couple from Perrier, a couple from Ludwig, and quickly the officials in to separate those two. And we've had a little bit of everything here tonight. Tipped across the line by Rowe. Costello sent it back to center. Less than 10 seconds left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, for the third straight year in a row, your Allen Americans are champions!
Allen Americans!
The trifecta! The Americans have won the ECHL Kelly Cup. A 6-1 score.
As we take a look at the Cup presentation, let's hear from some of the Americans who had a hand in Allen's victory. First, Coach Steve Martinson talks about winning the Cup, preparing for Game 7, and the fact that an ex-Central Hockey League club won the ECHL crown.
Great game tonight. Obviously a little less stressful. I kind of felt like our team could explode at any time. We've seen it during the year. I didn't think we played our best game until tonight, so it was good timing. You just got to try to keep the players relaxed. If you know you have a good team and they don't have to, try to find plays that aren't there. We felt like I said, we hadn't played our best game yet. I thought we got back to our ball control game, and we played our game to a T tonight. The ECHL knew we had a lot of players that have played in the American League, played in the ECHL. We've won a lot of players, so we've been an ECHL type team for 3 years anyway.
I think as you get older, you start to realize, hockey, it's difficult to move on to the next level, and especially as you get older, the NHL is always looking at the young guys, and so yeah, we had guys, even Chad Costello, he's been a huge points leader in the minor leagues, and I think when he came to Allen, his main focus was winning, and he had a great season, statistically, and but his main focus the whole year was to win. He wanted to win, and I think that is a little bit of an advantage for older guys, because you can show the younger guys, lead the way and do all the little things that it's going to take to win, and I think the younger guys will buy in. But we can also help the younger guys develop as players and help them get to the next level. Definitely the most difficult that I've been through with the it being such a you have to win 4 series and 7-game series. That's tough. It's a long grind, and the ECHL is a very good league. There's 28 teams now, and I think it's very competitive. And the top teams, there's a lot of teams that could win it every year. And it's definitely a grind. And the more time that passes after we've won, the more I've started to realize what we did this year and how big of a thing it actually is. So I think it means a lot to be a champion in this league, and I'm very proud of our team and my teammates for what we accomplished this year.
Well, that Game 4 in South Carolina was definitely a turning point. I mean, we weren't playing great hockey the first 3 games. We were down 2 games to 1. And then Game 4, we were getting out playing pretty good, and ended up pulling that one off in double overtime. And I think when we tied that series up 2-2, I think just something clicked, and everybody in the team, we knew we could win. And Game 5, we played a lot better. We played a very solid game. And, I think that was definitely one turning point. I do it every year. It's definitely not boring. I mean, it's just an unbelievable feeling, especially now in the league. ECHL is 28 teams, and it's too shy of the NHL. I mean, there's a ton of great players in the league, and it's just pretty special time of my life right now. My wife's expecting a baby in about a month, so last time around we were getting married, and 3 weeks after we won the Cup. This time around, she's having a baby about a month after I won the Cup. So I think when the big events come happening in my life, that I turn on the lens, I guess. But that definitely doesn't get old, and to definitely win it every year would be awesome.
Some new NHL affiliations, plus we talk with the Kelly Cup Playoffs MVP. Next on ECHL Week.
Are you paying too much with your current payroll company? Are you concerned about how Obamacare could affect your business? If you're interested in a better, more cost-effective solution, Einstein HR is the answer. No more stressing out about Obamacare and the new regulations. No more worrying about being in compliance. No more overpriced payroll services. Let Einstein HR get you back to the business of doing business instead of spending needless hours and frustration taking care of details that add nothing to your bottom line. We provide a first-class payroll and HR services with superior customer service. Call Einstein HR today.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
The Brampton Beast have started their offseason in impressive fashion by announcing their first NHL affiliation with the Montreal Canadiens. The Beast had no affiliate last year during their first ECHL season. Brampton will be exchanging players with Montreal's new AHL affiliate, the St. John's Icecaps. The deal with the Beast ends a 5-year run of player development, which the Canadiens had with the Wheeling Nailers. In 2015-16, the Nailers will continue to be affiliated with both Pittsburgh in the NHL and Wilkes-Barre in the American Hockey League. The Missouri Mavericks have reached an affiliation agreement with the New York Islanders for 2 seasons starting in October. Missouri joins the Bridgeport Sound Tigers of the American Hockey League as the Islanders' minor league affiliates. This agreement marks the first time in franchise history that the Mavericks will be a part of a formal affiliation with an NHL team. The Mavs held 4 previous 1-year agreements with the AHL Chicago Wolves. The Mavs' new affiliation agreement includes integration into the Islanders' scouting system, strength and conditioning programs, and training camps. Kelly Cup champion Allen was forced to a Game 7 in order to win the ECHL championship, but it was not the only serious hurdle that the Americans had to overcome this postseason. In the Western Conference Finals, the Americans went down 3-1 against the Ontario Reign. That included being outscored 12-1 in Games 2, 3, and 4. But facing elimination in Game 5 in Ontario and trailing with 12 minutes remaining in the third period, the Americans struck for 5 unanswered goals in 10.5 minutes to send the series back to Texas. After a nail-biting 2-1 victory in Game 6, the Western Conference Championship was on the line when the teams met one final time. Ontario, playing its final game in the ECHL before becoming an American Hockey League franchise, was forced to go into battle without captain Derek Couture, who had been suspended for Game 7. As we check out the highlights from this pivotal game, Tyler Ludwig's first goal of the postseason put Allen in front before the Reign's Tristan King scored his 7th playoff goal to tie the game with 4 minutes left in the second period. However, in the final minute of that period, Gary Steffes' 9th goal of the playoffs gave Allen the lead for good. Riley Gill made 29 stops, and Chris Crane's empty netter sealed the deal to send the Americans off to the Kelly Cup Finals showdown with South Carolina. One of the big keys in that series, in the final 3 games, all won by Allen, the Americans allowed just 1 power play goal in 12 Ontario opportunities. One of the highlights of each Kelly Cup playoff season is the announcement of the postseason Most Valuable Player. This year, like most others, there were a number of worthy candidates. The winner was Allen's Gregor Hansen, who led his team in playoff scoring with 12 goals and 17 assists. I caught up with Hansen after he'd had a few days to digest his team's title and asked him if any thoughts were going through his head as he was being named the playoffs MVP.
It was a great feeling. It just kind of shows that your hard work has paid off, and especially since there were so many other talented players on our team that deserved it as well. It was just kind of a great feeling to be able to get it and know that people thought that you had made a difference for the team. So it was special, that's for sure.
Did the commissioner say anything to you when he gave you the award, or were you even in the same world? He was probably distracted with all the other things that were going on.
Yeah, you know what? I don't really. If he did, I don't really remember what he said. There was just so many thoughts going through my mind, and overall, it was just a fantastic night. I mean, I just was so proud of being a part of that team and the way we came out in that last Game 7. So.
Lots of guys talk about the ECHL title being among the most difficult to win. Obviously, you haven't won a lot of titles at a lot of professional levels because you're not that old, but because of both the format with all the best of 7 series and the travel, Can you convey how challenging and how difficult that Kelly Cup is to win?
Yeah, it's definitely a grind. I think, some teams get treated better than others, and we were busting most of the year, and obviously in playoffs too, South Carolina included. We bust there and back, and it's definitely a grind, as you can tell. It wears down some people mentally, but we had some really strong individuals on the team, and we all kind of got together and just said that whatever we had to battle through, we got to do it, and I'm really proud of that.
When you think back, maybe not even now, but later in the summer, if you think back to this year's team, were there one or two keys, maybe on the ice or even off the ice, that really pulled this team together, or maybe gave you a sense that this was a special team and really had a championship in it?
Well, the one thing I can take was that every time we had our backs against the wall, we always played an unbelievable game, and it kind of said a lot about our team that, whenever we really had to, we all bought into the system and played well. And obviously we have a coach that had won 3 years in a row, and I don't even know how many championships he has throughout his career. So that just, along with, a great captain and Jamie Shashma and some really good veteran leaders, it was definitely a special group, that's for sure.
One of the sure signs of the ECHL playoffs is the presence of Commissioner Emeritus Pat Kelly, as the cup which bears his name gets close to being awarded. ECHL Week met with him at one of the final games in South Carolina and asked Kelly to recall a couple of the most memorable ECHL finals.
Up in Johnstown, the first year was in the 7th game, played up in Johnstown, Winston-Salem and Johnstown, and the Winston-Salem team had 3 guys suspended sitting in the stands and won the game 7-4 up in Johnstown that night. And the other one night is down in Mississippi. Richmond was playing him, and it went into a double overtime, and they won it. Mississippi won the cup. That was an excellent series. Both teams are pretty balanced.
That game in Johnstown, how many players did Winston-Salem ended up using?
Well, I think they were addressing 15 guys then, so they had goaltender, 4 defensemen, and about 7 forwards or something like that. So, but they come out strong and won it.
Are there one or two things that that are happening now in the league that the league is part of that you would have never imagined?
To have 28 teams this year. We had 29 one other year, and that was a big, but to see it now with just one AA league, it was so good to see the Central League join us. Now we have one complete AA league with 28 teams in, and we're hoping to get to 30 in the next year or two. And I got a great feeling that we will do that very soon. And that's how it should have been. One league, one AA league for the North America, and we have the team in Canada and Brampton, and so that's what it should be. Like the NHL has one big league, the American League has one big league, and they're called the American League, and they're in Canada and the United States. So I really look forward to watching this thing grow a little more.
The most veteran of ECHL players trades his uniform for a suit. And a look at next year's league when ECHL Week continues.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
ECHL is different. Some of them have careers that they're pursuing maybe outside of hockey. Some might be finishing up school. Others are seeing if they should get into the quote-unquote real world. Most of them have some type of summer job that they work after the season's over, with getting also ready for the following season. So it's they might take a little bit of a break from all the travel and the rigors that they've gone through, and then they will get into some type of summer work, more job that's towards the career field that they're in.
The ECHL's all-time leader in games played is moving behind the bench. Sam Fedoruk, who played 837 games with 7 teams over 14 seasons, will become an assistant coach with the Kalamazoo Wings, the team for which he played the last 6 seasons. The 40-year-old former defenseman spent 17 seasons as a pro. Last year he scored 3 times and added 32 assists. But off-season surgery would have kept him from returning until December. It was tough, but it was time, said Fedoruk, who replaces Colin Chalk, now Brampton's head coach. The man who's been captain of the Missouri Mavericks for the last 4 seasons, including this past debut season in the ECHL, is heading to Europe. Winger Sébastien Tinel, who averaged a point a game this season, will be playing next season in France with Grenoble. Tinel was originally signed by the Mavericks in 2011 during their Central Hockey League days. In 4 years, spanning 2 leagues with the Mavs, he scored 288 points in 265 games. He made his pro debut in the ECHL with Cincinnati in 2003. For the first time, the Professional Hockey Players Association has asked players from around the ECHL to vote for a series of season-ending individual awards. Chad Costello of Kelly Cup champion Allen was voted as the ECHL's MVP. He led the league in scoring with 125 points in 72 games and finished with a plus-minus of +43. Mike Little of Florida was named top defenseman. Also recognized as the top defender by the league, he finished the season tied for the lead in plus-minus at +46. He was second among defensemen with 54 points, tied for second with 41 assists, and tied for 6th with 13 goals. South Carolina's Jeff Giakaitis was the player's choice for top goalie. Also named top goaltender and MVP by the league, he played the majority of the time during South Carolina's ECHL record 23-game winning streak in February and March. He set a league record with 4 straight shutouts, and his 321-minute, 46-second shutout streak set both an ECHL and a minor pro record. And Gary Steffes of Allen was named as the first winner of the Heart, Hustle, and Desire Award. He led the ECHL in goal scoring this season with 44 in 63 games. He added 29 assists and finished with a plus-minus of +32. In terms of next season, a realignment plan will provide a new look in the standings. There will be 6 divisions in 2015-16. The Eastern Conference's North Division will feature 4 teams, while the East Division, with newcomers Adirondack, Manchester, and Norfolk, and the South Division will each have 5 members. The Western Conference will also have 1 division, the Central, with 4 clubs, and 2 divisions, the Midwest and West, with 5 teams each. As far as playoff qualification is concerned, each division winner makes the postseason, as well as the teams with the next 5 highest point totals in each conference. In fact, because of this playoff structure, essentially teams are competing not just against divisional rivals, but all the teams in their conference for playoff spots. It's a similar system to the one that the ECHL used from 2010 through 2014. All playoff series will be best of 7. The conference champs will meet to battle for the Kelly Cup. 21 players or their rights changed teams during the completion of future consideration deals transacted during the 2014-15 season. Among the highlights, Evansville added 4 players, including Cameron Burt, the 5th highest scoring defenseman in the league last season. Gwinnett added 8 names, including 2014 ECHL Defenseman of the Year Matt Register. Missouri added 4 players, including 20-goal scorer Rocco Carzo, and defenseman Kirill Tulipov was moved twice, first to Orlando and then to Rapid City. Once the swapping was complete, 7 teams had added new names to their rosters. Changes at the top for one team and a look back at the season of the Eastern Conference champs, straight ahead on ECHL Week.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Sign up for ECHL TV and watch every ECHL game live online. Follow your favorite teams at home and on the road. With live streaming available on your PC, iPad, and iPhone, you'll never be too far away from the action. Never miss a big goal. Relive your favorite ECHL moments in the video archives. And catch every game from around the league live. If ECHL hockey is on, it's on ECHL.TV.
Neil Newcomb has been named as the second general manager of the Toledo Walleye, also the team's new executive vice president. Newcomb most recently had been assistant general manager of corporate partnerships for the Toledo Mud Hens baseball team. Former Walleye general manager Joe Napoli has been promoted to president and chief executive officer for both the Mud Hens and Walleye. Linesman Scott Singer is this year's recipient of the Ryan Birmingham Memorial Award. It honors an on-ice official for contributions and dedication to the league officiating staff. It's named in honor of ECHL linesman Ryan Birmingham, who died in an automobile accident in 2007. Coming into this season's ECHL playoffs, in 26 seasons, only 24 postseason series had gone to a seventh and deciding game. This year alone, there were 8. That should help describe how competitive and dramatic this season's postseason was. But with all those tight, hard-fought, competitive series, none ended in a more exciting and dramatic fashion than the Eastern Conference final between South Carolina and regular season champion Toledo. Some longtime ECHL observers said it might have been the best game in league history. There's no question it was entertaining and thrilling. And it's hard to imagine the largest indoor hockey crowd in Toledo history, 8,300 people, 1,000 of whom were standing, will forget what they saw that night at the Huntington Center. Every game in this series was decided by one goal, so it should have been no surprise that Game 7 followed that pattern. And given a one-game chance to reach the Kelly Cup Finals, goaltenders Jeff Jakaitis of South Carolina and Jeff Lerg of Toledo gave their all. Through regulation time, through the first overtime, through the second overtime, and into a third overtime period. Over 105 minutes of hockey, and neither team was able to score. There were lots of chances. There were near misses. There were some shots off the goalposts. There were terrific saves. But it wasn't until the 86th shot of the game that a puck made it into the net. After a pass from South Carolina's Caleb Herbert, which was onside by the width of a piece of stick tape, Joe Devon's shot to the top corner of the net made it past Lerg and into the goal just minutes before midnight. That put the Stingrays on their way to the Kelly Cup Finals, and Toledo's outstanding season had come to an end. Despite that thrilling victory for the Eastern Conference Championship, South Carolina fell short in its quest for a record 4th Kelly Cup. After the playoff dust had settled, I spoke with Stingrays head coach Spencer Carberry and asked him to talk about his team coming within one win of a league title.
The words that I would say are pretty crushing, disheartening. You're so close, and yet ultimately, just like everybody else in the league other than Allen, which is hard because you see how much that's been put into it from the players to the staff over the last 2 months, and everything that we've gone through and everything that we've overcome in the series, and to fall that short, that close to it is it's really, really difficult.
The Stingrays certainly did accomplish a tremendous amount this year. When you think back of this season, obviously there's the 23-game winning streak. You did a lot of winning, especially in the second half of the season. You did a lot of, you developed players. You got some guys up to Hershey and up to Providence. When you look back, are those among the highlights, or are there any others that you'll think back about this season?
The second half of the season, the adversity we overcame with the start that we had, our team coming together. Andrew Rowe as a captain, his first year ever being a captain, he just did an incredible job bringing this team together in the second half of the year. Jeff Chikaitis' stretch when we went on that win streak. Wayne Simpson, Rowe, and Du Bois in the playoffs was a line that I don't know if this league has ever seen before in a playoff year. Just a lot of, and the way we won in the playoffs at the first round series against Reading, the way we go up 3-0 on Ford and play the game of our lives in Game 6 down there, and then the Toledo overtime in Game 7. There's a lot of positives, and there's a lot of guys that had great years and developed, like the development of Derek Du Bois this season, from going from a guy that was out of the lineup consistently at the beginning of the year to a juggernaut on the first line, getting an American League call-up. Wayne Simpson in the playoffs. Like, there's a lot of guys that took huge steps in their development. Frankie Simonelli proving himself as one of an American League defenseman in this league. Drew McKenzie, back-to-back Kelly Cup finals, being a number one D-man. So there was a lot of positives that I'll look back on eventually. And I don't mean to downplay it, but the thing that I will never forget for as long as I live is Game 7.
ECHL member teams donated more than $5.6 million to charitable and nonprofit organizations during this past season. The Premier AA Hockey League and its teams have contributed more than $37 million in the last 10 seasons. The 28 teams this year partnered with and donated to over 200 charitable and nonprofit organizations. The financial contributions are in addition to the thousands of appearances by players, coaches, team personnel, and mascots at schools, hospitals, libraries, and charity functions throughout the year. The total includes over $250,000 for cancer awareness and prevention, bringing the total raised through Pink and similar events over the last 9 seasons to more than $2.8 million. The 2014-15 season was one of dramatic change for the ECHL. 8 teams made their debuts this season, and one of those won the Kelly Cup Championship. The league had well over 300 players promoted to the AHL and is closing in on 600 alumni making it to the NHL. Nearly 5 million fans attended games this season. Next season, franchise shifts will bring AA hockey to New Hampshire, the Adirondack foothills of New York, and the ECHL will return to southeastern Virginia after a 15-year hiatus. Expect nearly every team in the league to have a major league affiliate next season, which means even more talent, excitement, and great hockey. It's a lot to look forward to. We appreciate your interest in this program and hope you continue to spread the word about the only show of its kind in minor pro North American sports. As we leave you today, we look back on some of the sights and sounds of this season's Kelly Cup Finals. Thanks for watching ECHL Week, and have a great, safe summer.